We are almost at the end of our first module, and the final one is looking at ethics. So the topic is network tools, ethics, and data representation. But the focus here is ethics. The right way of handling your networks and how to represent your data. So what are the best modalities? What are the best ways of doing it? The approved ways. So we say the morally approved ways of dealing with your network and data representation in programming. This is what we're looking at. So network tools, ethics, and data representation. First, we would like to look at the objectives. And the first objective is to understand the ethical and legal constraints when using network tools. I have said that already. What are the requirements so you don't breach them? Again, we want to learn how Wi-Fi credentials are stored conceptually. So how do you store your Wi-Fi credentials? When we talk of Wi-Fi credentials, I have mentioned that those are your passwords and your usernames. Your passwords and your usernames. How do we store them? And a lesson from yesterday would always reflect. We had a lesson yesterday. Then again, you want to know legitimate recovery or reset options for your own Wi-Fi. How do you recover or how do you reset your Wi-Fi legitimately? Then again, we want to look at how ASCII and binary underpin system data. How ASCII and binary underpin system data. Where we did the several calculations, if you remember. Yes. Again, we want to look at practicing safe admin workflows and basic monitoring. These are the objectives for this ethics study. Then why the ethics and why the matter of legality? Why at all? One, because of unauthorized access breaches and privacy matters. Whenever there are unauthorized access and breaches, they cause privacy and maybe illegal issues. So we need to consider ethics. Again, even well-intentioned actions can cause harm. So you think you are doing something good, but it can result in harm if you don't follow protocol. So take note. To obtain consent and follow organizational policies is important. As a programmer, you must always seek consent and follow the organization's policy. That's why we do this ethics study. Then we want to look at how Wi-Fi credentials are stored. How at all do we store Wi-Fi credentials? First, here we say that router configuration store wireless passphrase. So you see, as you enter, the router stores these things, and that is why whenever there is an issue, if you go back, you are able to retrieve it. That is how it's stored. Again, the end user devices may cache credentials in operating system stores. Operating storages, you can say that as well. Then operating systems use encrypted storage and access controls, and so you can easily access them. Backup or export features exist for administrators. We know this already. We want to look at legitimate recovery and reset options. What are the acceptable ways of recovering and resetting your system? So we want to say, first, you log into router admin interface to view or change key. So you can log into the router admin interface either to see or change your key. Okay, let me finish this and say it. How do I reset the router if you have physical access? So you see, like I was saying earlier, if you have a router and you want to recover or reset. We say hardware resetting of the router is that you go behind the router. When you take a router, you look behind it. If you are with a router, you can check. You look behind it and you see a small pinhole behind the router. You just insert a pin or even a broomstick, something firm. And as you press and press, it will set to its default code or manual. And that is what we are talking about. That is how we hardware reset the router. You press and press and it will set to its default code or manual. You can use your OS systems to view saved networks if you have admin rights. So if you have rights, you can actually check. You can also contact your service provider, your network owner, your network provider for authorized recovery. We do this almost all the time. When you have a problem, you call your network provider, your service provider, to help you solve it. So these are the legitimate ways of recovery and reset options. We want to look at cloud tools for doing this. Cloud tools. So we say CLI tools. The tools you can use. First we say management utilities. You can use the mesh. The mesh I am mentioning, emphasizing because of what we did yesterday. We use NETSH and we gave space and we gave run and we gave space and said something, show space profile. If you remember, these are all ways of recovering your passwords that you want to have or your credentials that you want to have. So the next you see there is what we used yesterday. You can also use the MCLI, some say MCLI, NMCLI, for solving this problem, troubleshooting or solving this problem. That is it. Again, they can list profiles and manage connections. So when we were doing it yesterday, you see that the profiles were listed, and then whatever you wanted to do, whichever password or whatever you want to use, you saw it there. Use them responsibly for auditing, backups, cleaning profiles. So basically, the means and the tools for recovering your lost credentials are what we are talking about. I emphasize the mesh for you because that's what we learned yesterday. We also want to look at how we can secure our wireless network. How do you secure your wireless network? How do you secure it? How do you keep it strong? And the key thing here is that you use a password that has 12 characters. So what you see is just talking about 12 characters. If you use a password of 12 characters, it secures it. It is very strong. Again, the second point, you can also change default admin username or password. We all know this. You change the username or password to secure your, and then again, you enable guest network for visitors. So there will be a guest network for your visitors. Keep firmware updated and monitor unknown clients. Monitor unknown clients and update your firmware. Rotate your keys periodically and after suspected compromise. You must change your keys, your password, anytime you suspect a kind of threat. So when they say rotate your keys, you're only talking about changing your passwords periodically to whenever you suspect any threat. Removing old unused profiles. Old profiles can expose your device to risk. It's important to remove them. Take note. Review saved networks on your own devices and remove unused ones. These are normal issues you should take note of for ethical reasons. Again, use OS or authorized admin tools to remove your profiles. Take note. Use operating systems or authorized admin tools in removing your profiles. That is important. So, introduction to ASCII and binary. Why it matters. Why at all do you need to know your ASCII codes and binary? Why it matters. We are doing this here because we are summarizing the whole model, the first model, and that is why we are bringing this one as well. So we just want to draw your attention to why we learn the ASCII codes and binary. You must know that we do that because computers store everything as bits. So you see, the lecturer at the point told us why we do that. So computers store everything as bits, and that's why it's important to understand that system. ASCII maps characters to numeric codes. It maps characters to numeric codes. So you see, you can have A, you can have B, you can even have space, but it doesn't state A, B, it doesn't state space, it doesn't state characters. It states values or numeric codes, and that is why it's important to understand the codes and their binaries. Understanding binary helps when reading logs and debugging. So the reasons. So we want to do a quick recap as we go. It is important to know that ASCII assigns decimal codes to characters. So for instance, if you take character T, here is the alphabet, character T, the ASCII code assigned, as we did, is 84. To get the binary representation, you must actually convert the 84 to what we call a base 2 numeral. And that's what we did, and we got 01010100. That is how it is read. But the actual value does not include the first 0. If you calculated, you will not get the first 0 from the beginning. It is because it is the system attaches 10 first. So when you calculate, you will get 1010100. You realize that all these things, there is none above 2. It is because we have converted it to base 2. That is a binary thing, base 2. That's why they are all below 2. So please take note. These are the things you see as binary. Now, show conversion. Decimal, when you are doing it, you convert a decimal by dividing by 2. That's what I mean by a base 2 numeral. So like we did in the other instance. This is just a recap, so you should know what it is. If you are dividing, you put the 84 and then you divide through by the binary, which is 2, and you break it and leave the remainders until there is nothing to be divided, and then you write the result or the answer of the remainders from the bottom. You write the answer from the bottom. The answer from the bottom. Take note. So you look at this. Verify by adding powers of 2. Okay, so in this case, what we are doing in this case here is we are converting the binary to decimal. You know, we convert the character, the base 10 to 2. The 84 you see, there is nothing down there, but we call it base 10. You converted it to a binary, which we call 2, base 2. Now, if you want to convert it back, this is what you'll be using, like Sir Costi said. Whenever there is a threat and there's a problem and you want to check, you'll be doing all this. And so you have to convert it back. When you want to convert, this is what you do. You actually would have to multiply the binary digits by the base. The binary digit by the base. And this, what do we mean? The base is what? base 2. So you don't start from the 0, you start from 1. So you say 1 times 2. Then you come down 0 times 2. Again 1 times 2. You use all the digits there. 0 times 2. 1 times 2. 0 times 2 and 0 times 2. But take note. You see, when we started from the beginning. The last 0 here, you power all the digits. But you start giving the powers from the last one. So the last 0 here from the binary will take the power of 0. So the very last thing you wrote, the 0 times 2 you wrote down there, the last 0 there will take power 0. Then the next one, the second 0, the 0 times 2, the second 0 will take power 1. The next 1 times 2, the 1 there will take power 2. The next 0 will take power 3, 1 will take power 4, 0 will take power 5, and the last one will take power what? 6. This is how we convert to the base 10. Now you just have to multiply the powers. So 0 to 0, that one goes because you are multiplying by 0. But 0 to power 1 again, because 0 is there, you will still get 0. But 1 to power 2, it is 1 times 2. You understand? So you are powering it's actually the base that you give the power to. You don't give the power to the values. You give the powers to the base. So all of them have 2 attached to them. So wherever you see the first 0, you put 0 at the top of the first 2. The second 2, 1. The third 3. The third 2, 2. And you continue like that till you get to 6. Now, 2 power 6 doesn't mean 2 times 6. We are only recapping. It means 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2, 6 times. And you give the result. I think the result will be somewhere, something, you calculate it yourself. Maybe 64 or something. The same way, 2 power 2 means 2 times 2 times 2. That's 2 times. Take note. So after that, you add all the answers, and it will give you the same 84 that you converted to the binary. Basically, the result must match the decimal value for t, and that is 84. So this is how we do the binary conversion and to decimal. How this helps in troubleshooting. Logs and packet data may contain raw bytes that map to ASCII, and so you need to work on them, convert, and deal with them. Recognizing encodings avoids misrepresentation or misinterpretation. So it's important to know whatever is in there. Once you can convert, it is important so you don't make mistake. Binary literacy aids in low-level debugging and analysis. So take note, and these are the reasons so we can troubleshoot. Safe demo and hands-on exercises. So some few things for you to do. I'll read them out and then we listen to concerns. So view saved profile names in OS or operating systems. No keys. So how do you view them? That is one. How do you view those saved profile names? That is one. Again, you also want to, the exercise 1, convert character A, that's capital A, and small h, and space as on the computer to ASCII and binary. Verify sums. That is the next exercise. Then again, exercise 2, on your own device, review and remove an unused saved network profile via settings. Let's look at best practices and responsible disclosure. Best practices and responsible disclosure. If you find leaked credentials, we know what credentials are. I have mentioned them: passwords, usernames. If you find leaked credentials, report to the owner or security team. If you don't understand the disclosure, we are only saying that the best practices and responsible ways of disclosing information in programming. If you find leaked credentials, that's your passwords and usernames, report to the owner or security team. That is one. Do not share others' credentials or exploit vulnerabilities. Don't take advantage of people's credentials. Take note, don't take advantage of the system. Document admin actions and maintain logs for audits. Document admin actions and maintain logs for audits. We want to look at resources and further reading. So, ASCII and binary tutorials. So what you need to be looking at in terms of studies tutorials on your own. To improve, you must go and look at the ASCII codes and binary ASCII and binary tutorials that you are giving, authoritative sources actually. Again, you want to look at router admin manuals and ISP support pages. Again, intro networking and ethical hacking courses, authorized training. These are further learnings you want you to do on your own. You get them within your course portal. Please take note. These are added resources that you can take advantage of within the course portal. It is for free. It's at no cost. You just need to log on to, and then you can read. So please take note. In fact, most of these things, once you go through them, you get an awarded certificate for free at no cost. So take note. Just get to the portal, learn, and you will have a certificate as well for free awarded to you. So go read. We want to look at some questions and answers, or wrap up. We are wrapping up. Reiterate ethical use and importance of consent. Practice ASCII/binary conversions and secure your home network. Thank you. This brings us to the end of Module 1. We look forward to seeing you in Module 2. Practical, beginner-friendly, career-ready. Have you provided this? Time for your inputs. Thank you.
Armstrong Computers, we're leading the way, bringing ICT to your doorstep every day. Where vision meets excellence, we stand strong, transforming students where they belong. In the halls of knowledge, we light the spark.